And I click up in here. Actually, I think the sanctuary up there. Can I go to sanctuary? It won't let you go to sanctuary. What is that? Warp? Sanctuary? I can't. I can go to Coulter. What? They took sanctuary out. What's that? Yeah, there's that. Oh, there we go. Ah, it's the box. You have to click in the box. I see. So sanctuary is like this place where you it's the place that brings everything together. Supposedly in sanctuary, all these factions are in unity. You know, it's like the world organization of no, was it the United Nations. So this will be our United Nations here. All the nations living in harmony in one area of the world, but not really. They're kind of living indifferently, but in communication, so at least there's some communication. So over here there's a guy. I'm gonna click on him. That's that guy. There's another guy over here, and he's got an expedition, and he should be done, and that's going to give me some polysterite. I'm going to show you what polysterite I have right now. So I'm going to go into outfit, and oh, it's up here under purple. 650 up there on the top right, resources. So this is going to give me 36. So I'm going to go over to him. I did that. No, see what I did. Outfit. 36. Now I have enough to buy an orbital strike. So I'm gonna start researching that one right now. And I'll need another 75. So at some point I'm going to have enough to buy another orbital strike. And an orbital strike is a nuke, basically. It's not an all-out nuke. What it is it's constrained to a circle, and I can go and apply it to a whole group of people and kill them all at the same time. It's really. And I told these guys, and I'm not on I'm not on NC right now, but I told them even if I was on NC that today I would orbital NC, and that's evil. Oops, Hold on one second. The reason why I did it, the reason why I said that was another. The reason why, and I probably won't do it. I won't, because it would be really it would not be good politically, but it isn't like there is any. I mean, in the game, people literally hate me, but I think if they came to see me and they got to look at my room and all the things I like, they'd have less to hate. And that's what war is it's really distancing yourself from others enough to destroy them. War is not conducted in a way anymore where it's personal. I mean, if it was, then you would have enough time. I mean, there is people in barroom fights and people who kill each other that get to know each other and get to know why they don't want to be around other people. The best thing to do in such situations is just stay away. It's like it says in the Bible. In the Bible, you see, the thing is that if those guys read the Bible, they would kill each other. They would go to some other place in the country because they realize the only way that you're going to fix this situation is to get out of it. Because to kill the other person is not going to fix the situation. It's going to harm you. It's going to harm them. You're going to end up put in jail, and you're going to be put in a different situation, and you're going to be in a situation where you have no control, which I would consider for psychopaths to be hell. Psychopaths don't like not having control, but when you're in prison, which a good bit of them are, you don't have any control. You're basically a mouse being controlled by somebody else. And it's, I think God would probably say it's sufficient, in such a case. It's sufficient to have psychopaths who can't behave in the world or can't understand that they have a problem. And I think it's important for us to understand that there are psychopaths and why they're psychopaths and what the nature of a psychopath is, even for the psychopath themselves, so that they might understand that they might be able to manage themselves in a way that's going to be constructive, even if they can't identify with anybody. It's important to know how to treat psychopaths so they understand how they need to be treated. But they're not going to have, it's not going to be natural to their understanding to want to have respect for anybody else, unless people give them praise. And I'm not one of those who's really so concerned about praise. I kind of am able to do without a whole lot of people, because for me, I've spent most of my life alone, and so I don't really rely on people all that much. I rely on people. I rely on money. I don't rely on psychopaths in a way. I've been on the parasitic lifestyle. I've done all that, but I'm empathetic, and I feel, and I try to extend my feeling about others. And am I still on? I'm still on VS. Good, because VS, I don't know how they're doing in this war. Yeah, earlier. This was in pretzel form. Pretzel form is what I call its initial form before the alert starts, and I think the alerts just started. And it was like all TR and all VS, and NC had this little bit over here. And now the alert has started. Everybody's just it got away from that, and now we're starting to have they're starting to, VS is getting pushed back, because what VS is really good at, and everybody would agree with this, is we're good at ghost capping. Now, I'm not VS right now. I'm actually an NS soldier, and if you look at my my infantry thing here, so I go in here. Notice this is not a human form. That it doesn't look like a human can fit in this. I'm a bot, basically. And that's what they call us, as the NS characters. We're basically bots for hire. And we're not part of any faction. There are 3 factions: TR, Vanu, and NC. And I'm not of any of those factions. I'm of NS. So I'm basically a product, an AI product or something, that is provided the factions, that a professional is usually the NS is people who take on NS bots are professionals. They're people that have perfected being doing all the stuff on every faction, and it can do with less instruments and more of the special bot stuff. So maybe it's just another faction, but it helps you to see from all perspectives when you're an NS person. Also, you lose access to faction chat. I used to go into faction chat and talk to people. In here, I can't talk to anybody, because you can't use faction chat. All I can use is general. And general only occurs within the hex that I'm in. So if I yelled out, I would only be heard in this hex right here. Nobody outside of that would hear me. When you're in faction chat, you're talking to everybody in your faction. It's quite easy to annoy people. And I used to work mostly in that mode, but now that I've come to find this great, this is my favorite vehicle. It's called a Javelin, and you'll see. Oh man, you can do stuff. If the future ever has a vehicle like this, I want it. Because you can do stuff like this. You can go over anything. There are flags where there's a flag on Hazen and South Acan flag, and there's all these potted plants, and you can do this, and you never bump into anything. You can do this all around the flag. One of the, I'm just going to go off and show you some of the, I'll just go riding around in a javelin and show you some crap you can do on it while talking. And so this bot, people would say you're a bot, and I say I'm a bot with an outfit. I'm the only guy in the outfit, and I have access to an orbital. So I'm a bit more than a bot, you know. I'm a bot to fear. I'm kind of the Terminator. I'm T2. So I'd say that would be the identity of this guy is. He's kind of the T2. He's gonna mess somebody up really badly, but it's all in good fun, you know. And so whenever I go into a base and I'm trying to get into a flag, and we got a base coming up here, so I'll go into the base, determine where the flag is. It's like right there. So I put a waypoint on it, and it shows me that it's up there. So to get in there, I will not even get off the bike. I'll go up here, go up here. I actually probably could go around the back because it looks like it's in the back anyhow, and I could take the flag. Actually, I can't take it. I have to get off the bike, and then I can take it. Isn't that a neat little contraption? Looks like something you'd shave your face with, but it's, I mean, or maybe it looks like a pen. But you know, the designers that were designing this game, they had to come up with something that looks like something that would work, you know. So it's got like all these spinning wheels, and you know, they're trying to make something aesthetically pleasing. And by aesthetically pleasing, is that something that you could see yourself using? And it's got to have some interesting feedback that makes sense. So whenever I'm turning, you can see that his arms are moving in a different way. So it makes you think that this guy is really controlling this little bike by having his arms moving while it doesn't look like they're really moving the right way, because one's supposed to be raising. If this is really using those kind of lever systems, and they're like kind of like a tank, how a tank works. But and I don't even know if this would even be possible to have something that works this way. But you can see this is how it's supposed to work. It's like so. Anyhow, I'm going to continue with the game. I'm kind of tired of talking now. Just make a clip and easy game. Yeah, we'll find somebody to orbital. I think it probably won't happen. I probably won't get it up on YouTube, but last 2 times I did it was on NC. I orbitaled NC. The reason why I'm saying that if I was NC, I would orbital myself today. It's because yesterday we were at a certain base that by coincidence was called Bastion, and it's on a planet. It's on a land called Amarish. They'd say planet, but you never can get around it. It's just a flat plain. And so the Amarish had a thing called a Bastion, and we had a Bastion, and NC with this big old ship on top of us, dropping fire down to kill people. And the only people that were actually fighting there was TR and VS, and we had NC Bastion above us, which really shouldn't be there. It should only be involved in stuff that have to do with the NC. He's over there just dropping fire on us because he knows we're all enemy. And I call out to the guy, I'm getting an orbital tomorrow. Even if I'm on NC, I am going to orbital NC in your name. I don't remember what his name is, so I'm probably not going to orbital, but that's what just makes me upset, is that I'm sitting there and I'm in a war, and there's somebody with this big old ship above us dropping fire, just make the war much more miserable. He's in that situation, and probably the reason why he's dropping fire is because he's been in that situation a lot, where orbital's been dropped on him or people have dropped fire. So then I can probably understand, but it's too easy to sit above a whole bunch of people, as a in the bastions. You can't attack them, you can't fire on them, you can't ruin them. They're there for a whole hour on the map, just dropping fire on everybody. They shouldn't even have done it this way, but they did do it this way because it's a stupid game company. There are a lot of stupid game companies out there. I will point out that this game company right now, I don't believe they have access to their source code. I believe that their whole engine system was pre-compiled, and they're working with the results of the compiled source code. They don't know enough about how it works. Is the reason why they still have memory bugs in it they can't fix, because they don't have access to the source code. And they're working with static binaries, and all they can do is just manipulate the landscape and add superficial stuff. That's just a dead giveaway that they don't have access to the actual binaries or able to modify the content in the game. They're probably doing what are called paying change orders to another firm that say could be in India. And how change orders work is that when you originally contract with a company, they'll do and this is really hard to do over the sound. When you contract to a company, they'll negotiate the sources, the ownership of the sources, and if you let them own the source code, that is, not let you have a copy of it, then they're going to start for the very first project. They're going to charge a really low fee, and you'll be entranced into buying into them. And then by the time you get to a point to where you got a lot of what you need in the deliverable, they start raising the price of the deliverable, and they just keep raising it every time you change it. Eventually you come to the point to where you can't support it, and maybe you destroy it, or something gets destroyed. And I'm starting to fall asleep. But the thing is that yeah, it's probably the reason why they still have bugs in it, and they can't fix the bugs is because they don't have access to the source code. They're relying on somebody else that they contracted with to create the executables, and those guys are the guys that are managing the executables, and you can't get them to do the stuff that needs to get done because the company that's possibly informing them is no longer present. Or oh crap, and so I just passed out. So yeah, this is what happens whenever I start to fall asleep. We got an hour. I'm on VS. I'm a NS character, and I have to help these guys win. So in the next hour, I'm going to be focusing on that, and I'm not going to be talking anymore. So I'm going to make this a clip.